Hi, I'm from Samson colleagues. So the questions to respond to, you've championed soilless farming as a way to tackle food security sustainably. What inspired me to focus on soilless farming and how young people responding to this innovation? For me, it's not about focusing on soilless farming as much as it's about focusing on precision farming. And the reason for that is a way to de-risk agriculture, because you realize that one of the reasons why a lot of young people are averse to agriculture is the high level of unpredictability. And if we are able to bring in control measures to have control over the biotic and abiotic factors that can affect growing of plants, this would bring in more people into agriculture. And for young people, again, this is what they are responding to, the fact that this is predictable, this is something that you are able to, you're able to have a sort of control. Then number two, and I think another part that really makes it interesting for young people is knowing that the more money they have, the more they can automate their farm, the less stressful it becomes. And that's the beauty of precision-based farming. You can start from where you are and gradually improve. Many youth struggle to see agriculture as profitable or modern. How can climate smart party like yours make farming attractive and viable for? What we do is attractive because, one, there is money. One thing I have learned with young people, working with them for long, is they have no issue with the work if the money is good. They have no issues with the work if the money is good. So even if you tell them, hey, what we need you to do is be running around Nigeria every day, if the money is good enough, they will do the race. So climate smart agriculture, like I earlier said, is just bringing in that precision so that they are able to have control, and they know I can get better control with better investment. I can get more yield per square meter with better investment. That is the key thing. Number three, what's one piece of advice you would give to a young African who wants to build a successful agribusiness in green economy but doesn't know where to start? So what I would always tell a young person is try to figure out the business of what you want to do. Nobody pays you for owning a technology. Nobody comes to the farm and say we want to buy because it is hydroponics, aeroponics, aquaponics, precision. Nobody cares. So understand the business angle. Your level of automation must match the money that you are going to make. It does not make sense to say you have robots on the farm and it is costing you an arm and a leg and you are not getting the same returns financially. Two, start from where you are. You may not have money to start a farm. Go find somebody to work with. Find something doing, and whatever you find doing, give it your all. Be the best at that thing. Give it your all. If government or development partners could do one thing to support youth-led innovation in agriculture, what would you ask for and why? So I would say for that, okay, I think before that they said, what do you say to young people who see agriculture as outdated or unattainable, especially those in cities or without access to land? Again, I take it, maybe I have a different view. I see it from the perspective of somebody who probably would say 30 years ago that entertainment cannot make you rich, or 50 years ago and say banking sector is not good. And the reason is this, and they would be right because they are speaking from their reality, which is why we must put systems in place to ensure that the young people who are picking up agriculture can actually afford decent livelihood. They can actually live like their mates in other sectors. See, imagine saying you are going for a farmers meeting and you pick your friend along who is not a farmer, and on getting there, they notice all the farmers came with their cream de la cream cars. By default, questions will be asked. They would want to know, how can we be part of this sector? So success cannot be hidden. You don't need to be flamboyant, but we would see it. You don't need to be flamboyant. The truth will speak. And when the young people in agriculture starts making it, the success would speak. And that is the biggest advertisement for agriculture being sustainable and not outdated. If government or development partners could do one thing to support youth-led innovations in agri, what would you ask for and why? No, but I think I would say not one thing, but because again, if you say one thing, it kind of makes it look like this is the most important. Once you have this, every other thing would be fine. And unfortunately, that would not be true. So I will speak from the Nigeria perspective. Number one would be infrastructure. You see, because right now for a young person coming into agriculture, it feels like you have to pay for everything. So create hubs in different localities, different local governments, and agree on the crop you need them to produce in such hubs. Let the young person be able to come in, do plug and play. That would be one. So it could be having tractors in an area, you have the water source already in place, there is electricity, there is internet, there are good accommodations. So they just come, they say, okay, I have been able to raise X, Y amount of money. What I can manage with the money I have is 1 hectare, 2 hectares. That would be one. But that cannot be done in isolation. There must be access to proper market boards so that these young persons are not forced to sell because they are desperate. So as a market board that are able to say, okay, if you are buying tomatoes from Awowo community, the price set for all the 2,000 farmers in this community is 500 naira per kilo, 1,000 naira per kilo. You see, with that, the young person is able to properly determine, okay, what do I want to grow? I know what the market is saying. I know how the market grades what they buy. Based on that, based on what I am able to produce, the quality, I already know what I would get. So I said first is create hubs with infrastructure that they can plug and play, but don't just create hubs, create market boards. There is that exists, for example, in a place like Rwanda. I remember when we were trying to expand to Rwanda, that was one of the things I noticed in Rwanda that was beautiful. But you see, beyond that, there must then also be access to affordable long-term finance. Access to affordable long-term finance so that this young person is able to compete. Because again, agriculture is long-term. Now, this finance, if the infrastructure is good enough, then maybe it could be short-term. But in a case where this young person needs the money to set up infrastructure, it needs to be long-term. Thank you.